From Fox News, ladies and gentlemen, Fox News poll, Democrats' favorability hits new lows, still favored over GOP in 2026 midterms. Now, this is a story I've used. Admittedly, it is from last week when this poll dropped, but it is a consistent trend that we have seen, and now we're backing it up with civics data. We've got this. Do you have a favorable or unfavorable view of the Democratic Party? And it is 59% unfavorable, 30% favorable, and declining. And you compare this with the Republican Party, and you have 56% unfavorable, still not very good, but better than Democrats, and 38% favorability. Now, the reason this matters is we've got J.B. Pritzker calling out Democrats. We've got AOC getting heckled by Democrats. You've got Beto O'Rourke now slamming Democrats as lazy and weak. David Hogg trying to primary Democrats. It is a free-for-all of chaos in the Democratic Party. They are spiraling out of control. And despite all of the hit pieces, all of the negative press that Trump is facing, he is still more favorable than most, I think all of the Democrat personalities. None of them are registering. So, panel, why is this happening to the Democrats? And how is Trump still beating them?
I'm surprised David Hogg hasn't helped the image of the Democratic Party.
Oh, yes.
Shocking.
Isn't that crazy?
Absolutely shocking. Can't believe it. David Hogg. I think he's had a charisma bypass, old David. But, at the end of the day, it is kind of a symbol of where the Democrats are at. Like I say, they have become the party of illegal aliens, crime, and perversion. I mean, you even look at one of the stories that came out earlier today about how the Trump administration, RFK, are protecting beagles. The beagles have been, killed.
Fauci.
Right, the evil Fauci. Yep. And it used to be that kind of stuff was just the domain of the left, right? But now they've ceded everything pretty much to conservatives, to the Trump people, and that's just a sign of their decline. The media is just an arm of the DNC, really, when you break it down. I just ignore them. They provide absolutely nothing. So, I think the Democrats are in a very bad way. I don't know about you guys, but for me, since the 20th of December, it's been like Christmas every morning.
It's been pretty great. Whether it be their takes on illegal immigration, which is one of the pillars that Donald Trump was elected on. And part of the reason why I think Donald Trump still has a generally positive opinion or favorability is because of his success at the border, right? That was the thing that he made such a big deal about when he first ran in 2016. It's what he really ran on in 2020, in 2023 leading or 2024 leading up to this election. And he's really delivered. Like, so the situation at the border, there's no longer thousands of illegals coming over. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there that'll say, well, they haven't deported enough, and I'd be among them, right? I would love to see every single person that came here illegally sent home. I would love it. But he is delivering on the things that people really care the most about, and I think that really matters. As for the Democrats, whether it's their take on the border or people like Democrat State Senator Scott Wiener in California making remarks like, well, if there's a sex offender registry, that's gonna be a bad thing for the LGBT lobby. And it's like, well, wait a minute, why? That's a funny thing to say, but those are the kind of things that you get from the Democrats. They don't want to actually protect the vulnerable. They don't want to protect women in women's spaces. They want men to be able to go into those spaces. They don't want to protect children. They don't want to protect anything at all that is good and wholesome. They literally always side with the bad guys, and they've been doing it vocally and with enthusiasm for the past, at least for the past 10 years.
His inauguration speech was a stark contrast to the entire Democratic Party's platform.
100%.
It was like a return to law and order, beauty and legacy.
Yes.
I love those things.
No, Shane, you're on the money. Look, Democrats, they'll crush your business. They'll get you killed by an illegal. They'll make your home unaffordable. I mean, there is nothing that they offer in 2025.
To that point, I think that it was President Trump, or maybe it wasn't, but it was some Republican talking about, the shower heads that people are allowed to buy.
Yes.
There is not, and it's because they always use climate change as a reason for telling you what kind of stove you can have in your home, telling you how much water you can have, how much water your toilet will use, telling you what you can do with your property, telling you what kind of car you can drive, telling you essentially there's not an aspect of your life that the Democrats don't want to not only control but make worse.
Yeah, that's why Tulsi left. That's why RFK left. That's why so many ordinary voters have left. I mean, they're not even a really serious political party anymore. It's really just a fundraising pyramid scheme.
Well, Trump came out and he was rather moderate, and he offered up a bunch of reasonable solutions to issues that people were concerned about. Hey, let's secure the border. Hey, let's deport illegal immigrants. He was always on about that. He was favored by a lot of union guys. The tariffs are favored by a lot of the auto manufacturers. The Democrats don't understand. They keep approaching Trump as whatever, everyone hates him, so whatever he does is bad. Okay, well, if you do that, you'll be on the wrong side of everything. Trump need only just say reasonable things. It says the joke, if Trump came out in favor of oxygen, they'd hold their breath. So that's why they've adopted the back end of every 80-20 issue. They're like, let's choose the most unfavorable thing. They are survived, in my opinion, largely by boomers. And I mean no disrespect to boomers in general. What I'm saying is, you look at that poll out of Canada, where they were tracking the election, and it said, what issues do you care about? And Gen Z Canadians are like the cost of living, jobs, housing. And when you ask the boomers in Canada, they said Trump. So this poll came out from Real Clear Politics as well a couple weeks ago. All demographics have a net approval of Donald Trump except boomers. And it's probably because they're watching cable TV and everybody else is out. Everybody else is watching shows like this or getting their news from social media, and they're like, okay, I get it. Trump's not perfect, but he's all right.
Yeah.
But if you're watching cable TV, it's the devil.
We've talked about how the Democrat Party is faceless. They don't have like a real candidate right now. And then Trump is like the face of politics in general. And I was thinking about when I was at the debate, the primary debate in California for the Republicans, Trump wasn't there, but his absence was more of a presence than the people on stage. It's wild.
Conspicuous absence. Look, Trump isn't about right or left. He's about right or wrong, right? And that's what the left and the Democrats in this country have missed, I think, for so long. And that's why people love him. Trump got elected because young people and young men in particular know that people like Obama and Biden cut their opportunity. They darkened their American dream. So President Trump is the embodiment of success and the pursuit of happiness. And that's the stuff that appeals to people. That's the stuff that motivates people, having a ladder of opportunity and seeing a man that just thrives, doesn't just survive no matter what they throw at him.
Yeah.
The point that you make there, Nick, that he thrives, he really does take whatever's thrown at him, and I mean, he manages to capitalize on it in a way that, in my opinion, is actually fairly unique when it comes to modern politicians. And it might be because of his experience in the business world. It might be because of his experience in the media. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But he really does capitalize on all of the negative things that they throw at him. He really has managed to figure out how to take whatever it is they throw at him and turn it around. I mean, everybody knows the mugshot. He looked. Yes. It was one of the best things that's ever happened. The mugshot was great.
Have you seen his presidential portrait?
Yeah, it's great.
It looks just like the mugshot.
He loved that shot. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He liked it a lot.
And you thought for a minute that the mugshot was going to go down as the most iconic photograph in American history, and then Butler, Pennsylvania happens.
Yeah, then fight.
You know, like it's this guy is the most.
And they tried to suppress that too.
I know all of it. Look, this guy is unlike anybody that we have seen, I think, in modern history, at the very least, if not all of history. I'm on a tour at the moment. This is my new book, From Mar-a-Lago to Mars, and this looks at exactly the stuff that we're talking about. How can you be censured, deplatformed, impeached twice, arrested, sued, indicted? They try to kill you at least twice that we know of, right? And this guy, just to your point, Phil, I mean, just keeps getting up and turns every setback into a setup for a comeback.
Yeah.
And turns it to his favor. I mean, that is a manual, I think, that all of us can apply to life. And I think a lot of it is he was a student of Norman Vincent Peale, right? He actually officiated his wedding. He's in his first marriage. He's someone who believes in the power of positive thinking. I do think you're right. He has learned a lot from his time in business. But this is a man whose personal mettle is just, I mean, he's unshakable, he's unsinkable. And it just upsets the left to no end. And that is the most majestic thing out of all of it.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.